we start with the Buddha Vandana. Again, welcome all. Today's Sunday Vihara, online Buddha Vihara. Today here with us Bhante, Venerable Bhante Pemaratna. Bhante Pemaratna is a Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka. He is currently serving as the abbot of the Pittsburgh Buddhist Center in Pennsylvania. While pursuing his PhD in religious studies at the University of Pittsburgh, he conducts regular lectures and workshops in Buddhist teaching and meditation in the Buddhist Center and other places in the area. The state correlation institutions in Pittsburgh. Bhanteji also regularly visiting in Great Lake Buddhist Vihara in Michigan. And we meet Bhanteji regularly. And after Buddha Vandana, Bhanteji is going to talk Buddha's teaching on levels of happiness. So here with us Bhanteji, Pemaratna, and today he is going to deliver the Buddha Vandana. Bhanteji, please go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to lead the Buddha Vandana?
Yes, Bhanteji is little close to the mic so we can hear loudly.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So do you have to administer 5 precepts? So how
yes.
do you? Oh, you can start. I can follow you. You like to observe 5 precepts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then recite Namo Tassa 3 times together.
Okay. So we start with the Buddha Vandana. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyaṃ-pi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyaṃ-pi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyaṃ-pi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyaṃ-pi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyaṃ-pi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyaṃ-pi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānātipātā vēramaṇī sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. Adinādānā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Surāmēraya majjapamā tatthānā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Tisaraṇena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ sādhukaṃ surakkitaṃ kattvā appamādena sampādē tabbang. साधु साधु गणसारपदित्तेन दीपेन तमधंसिना तिलोकदीपं संबुद्धं पूजयामि तमोनुदम् गन्धसंकारयुक्तेन धूपेन सुगन्धिना पूजये पूजनीयं तं पूजाभाजनमुत्तमम् सुगन्धं शीतलं कप्पं प्रसन्नमधुरं शुभं पानीयमेतं भगवा पतिगन्हातु उत्तम अधिवासेतु नो भन्ते विलान पञ्चयं इमम् अनुकम्पं उपादाय पतिगन्हातु उत्तम वन्नगन्धगुणोपेतं एतं कुसुमसन्ततिम् पूजयामि मुनिं दंस श्रीपाद सरोरुहे पूजेमि बुद्धं कुसुमेन नेन पुण्येन मे तेन लभामि मोक्षम् उपं मिलायाति यथा इदं मे कायो तथा याति विनाशभावम् साधु 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 इतिपिसो भगवा अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो विद्याचरण संपन्नो सुगतो लोकविदु अनुत्तरो पुरिस धर्म सारथि सत्ता देव मनुष्यानं बुद्धो भगवाति बुद्धं जीवित पर्यन्तं शरणं गच्छामि ये च बुद्धा अतीता च ये च बुद्धा अनागता पच्चुपन्ना च ये बुद्धा अहं वन्दामि सर्वदा स्वाङ्कातो भगवता धम्मो संदिट्ठिको अकालिको एहिपासिको ओपनयिको पञ्चन्तं वेदितम्बो विन्युहीति धम्मं जीवितपर्यन्तं शरणं गच्छामि ये च धम्मा अतीता च ये च धम्मा अनागता पच्चुपन्ना च ये धम्मा अहं वन्दामि सर्वदा सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संगो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संगो न्यायपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संगो सामीचि पटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संगो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरिस युगानि अत्र पुरिस पुङ्गला एष भगवतो सावक संगो आहुनेयो पाहुनेयो दक्षिणेयो अंजलिकारणीयो Anuttarang punyat ketang lokassati Sangham jivita pariyantang sarenang gacchami Ye ca sangha atita ca ye ca sangha anagata Panchumpanna ca ye sangha ahang vandami sabdada Vandami cetiyang sabbang sabbachani supatititang Saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddha rupang sakalang sada sadhu sadhu idang minyatinang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo idang minyatinang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo idang minyatinang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo ettavataca ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya ettavataca ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya ettavataca ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe sattha anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya Akasacca ca bhummatta devanaga mahindrika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang Akasacca ca bhummatta devanaga mahindrika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang akasatta ca bhummatta devanaga mahindrika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mang parang Mina punya kammene mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pattiya kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamami bhante Bhuri panya tathagata acayang kamami dhamma sandicchika akalika acayang kamami sangha supatipanna anuttara sadhu sadhu sadhu
Thank you, Bhantaji. Thank you very much. Again, friends, today we organized the special prayer on the occasion of Mahaparinirvan Din. And today Lalit is going to give a little brief update. Lalit, are you there? Before we start the Dhamma talk. Lalit?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Can you please turn on your video, please?
Yes. Okay. Jai Bhim, everyone. On the occasion of 57th Mahaparinirvana of Bodhisattva Dr. Ambedkar, we pay deep homage to him and his great work. Dr. Ambedkar said that men are mortal, so are ideas. An idea needs propagation as much as plant needs watering. Otherwise, both will wither and die. So, from basically the last whole centuries, we see how Dr. Ambedkar's ideas and his work impacted lives of millions of people, especially the downtrodden women and people who were treated as untouchables for thousands of years, around 3,000 of years, and Dr. Ambedkar played a significant role in transforming the lives of people by awakening the masses through his skills in journalism and his skills in mobilizing people, and he was excellent as a lawyer. Because of him, we have this excellent constitution which gives equal rights to every citizen of India, which was unimaginable in India, especially for the untouchables and women. And so throughout his life, Dr. Ambedkar played a significant role in awakening and spreading education, organizing people, and fighting for equal rights. So, and most of the Indian policies are framed by him. So on this occasion of Mahaparinirvana Day, we should look behind what was his message and what were his deeds. And as he has said that the ideas, whatever ideas Dr. Ambedkar or other revolutionaries have given Buddhas, they are certainly there to die if they are not watered timely. So the Dr. Ambedkar gave the important mantra of education, agitation, and organize. So we need to look back and look at as an organization, ANA and AIM and other organizations in USA and other parts of India, what are our strengths, and look at how we got benefited and how we can pay back to the society. We have some substantial class of people who can pay back to society. There we need to look at our weaknesses. People, although we have several organizations, but people have certain egos, and because of their egos, their organization and their work cannot sustain long. In terms of opportunities, we have like this technology and a lot of opportunities with technology and liberalization and open privatization, where we can access the best of the best education in India and abroad. And likewise, there are many other areas like business in private sector. And although we have a lot of challenges from within our communities and outside, but the most important part where Dr. Ambedkar emphasized on how we can achieve our goals, like first is educating people, organizing, and agitating. So I think in this context, the Buddhist thoughts on Prajnashil Karuna is quite important, where we can use the Buddhist principles to reduce our ego through meditation or other skills and teaching of and guidance of Venerable Bhantes, and also taking a leap and guidance from Baba Ambedkar's readings. And I think if we can focus on certain areas, say education, employment, or focus on women's emancipation, and I think that will be so within our capacity as an organization. If we focus on certain specific area and look at our strengths as an organization, where we can make maximum impact on the lives of our people, and with the compassion, how we can change their lives and it will certainly help us and help Dr. to help keep Dr. Ambedkar's thoughts and ideas alive, and also propagate the idea of peace and humanity, which is propagated by Dr. Buddha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lalit Khandare. Lalit joining from Mumbai right now for giving a special thought on the occasion of Mahaparinirvan Din. Thank you very much. Now we will continue with our Dhamma talk, regular Dhamma talk. Bhante Pemaratana, Venerable Bhante Pemaratana is going to talk about Buddha's teaching on level of happiness. So that's today's Dhamma talk topic. So Venerable Bhante, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. And today I'm really glad to be here in the online Buddha Vihara to join with you, especially on this day, the day that we all celebrate and commemorate Dr. Ambedkar, Bodhisattva Ambedkar. And so it's an important day for all of us to think about him and inspired by him and reflect his teachings together with the teachings of the Buddha. And in this week, we all talk about the passing away of Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa. He also worked for the benefit of the oppressed. I think even the people like Nelson Mandela learned from the Bodhisattva Ambedkar to organize their social service in their countries. So even especially today, even the life of Nelson Mandela and people like him teach us how important is the teachings and the example given by Bodhisattva Ambedkar. And so we should reflect on that quality and try to implement those qualities into our own life to improve happiness and well-being of all people, all beings, and even the environment. So therefore, with that note, today we will talk about the different levels of happiness that Buddha taught us. If you even look at the life of Dr. Bodhisattva Ambedkar, you can understand how he understood these different levels of happiness and help people to achieve those levels of happiness. And not only that, he himself also achieved those levels of happiness. So today, let us spend some time in understanding what are the different levels that Buddha taught us, levels of happiness that Buddha taught us. We know in Pali, we use the word sukha for the word for happiness. Sukha has a meaning of fitting or being okay, not shaking, a settled kind of meaning. And then we use this sukha with related to different things, and then we talk about different levels of happiness. In the teachings of the Buddha, and Buddha basically divided happiness into two parts. One is called amisa sukha, which means the happiness related to worldly affairs, and then niramisa sukha, the happiness related to beyond happiness beyond worldly affairs, happiness related to deep inside of our mind. And today we will discuss about these two levels of happiness, and then and understand the value that Buddha has given to each level of happiness. In the level of worldly happiness, Buddha talked about few areas. As a lay people particularly, we should pay attention to these levels. And the first kind of happiness Buddha talked is he called Atti Sukha, the happiness of possession. As a lay person, one should put his effort and work hard and earn some money or some possession, and that the happiness of possession is called the kind of happiness a layperson will gain when he has accumulated wealth, accumulated property, but with his own set and own effort, and also in a righteous way. So Buddha talk about this happiness, and Buddha is not against earning money or earning wealth or property, but he has two conditions. One is it has to earn with one's own effort, exerting equivalent amount of effort, either physical or mental. And second rule is it has to be earned in a righteous manner, or dhammiko, in accordance with the Dhamma, which means not harming any person, any living being, or even environment. So if we can be righteous in our earning by not being harmful to others, and also if we accept a right amount of effort from our part, and then there's no prohibition from the Buddha to earn money. And then that after we earn some amount of wealth that enable us to live our life well and also support others, and we feel a sense of happiness, a sense of satisfaction, and that kind of happiness Buddha called Atti Sukha. And then second, and there's also other aspect to this level of happiness, which Buddha called Bodhi Sukha. When we enjoy this wealth, not being only collecting the wealth, but also enjoying and also supporting your family. When you see that how your family is doing well, how your family is being fed, how your family is being taken care of with your own wealth and money, and you get the other type of happiness. Buddha call it Bhoga Sukha. And these are allowed in Buddhism. And also there's also other aspect of this happiness which we call Anana Sukha, the happiness of deathlessness. So they really encourage people to be deathless or be self-reliant or for one's own survival by working hard and managing well one's own wealth. And if we do not have any debts or for anybody, and then you will have so much of relief in your mind, and that is called Anana Sukha. I think even in the teachings of the Bodhisattva Ambedkar, as an economist, he really encouraged people in India for self-reliance and be debtless. So that debtlessness gives us a form of happiness. And so these are three aspects of worldly happiness: happiness of possession, happiness of enjoying the wealth by supporting one's family and friends, and then being debtless in one's life. So those are what we call worldly happiness. But importantly, Buddha taught us not to limit ourselves in this level of happiness, in this level of worldly happiness. Many people only pay attention to this worldly level of happiness. And if you see the whole world, what they are doing, all their effort, all technological advancement, and everything they are catered to this level of happiness, the worldly level of happiness. But Buddha taught us as human beings, we are capable of achieving higher levels of happiness. What we can call them mature levels of happiness. And if you only restrict our life just to enjoy worldly happiness, we are simply wasting our human life, because that is the levels of happiness even animals are enjoying. And therefore, we should try to go beyond that levels of happiness. That is what Buddha really wanted us to understand. So it is Buddha once said that a person who has an understanding of these two kinds of happiness is like a person who has both eyes. If we only pay attention to one level of one type of happiness, that means that we are like a person who has only one eye. And some people do not have both eyes. They do not even achieve worldly happiness or worldly success, and they also do not pay attention to a spiritual success. In that case, that person is like a blind person. But as Buddhists, we should be able to have our both eyes and be able to achieve both worldly success as well as our spiritual development. Okay, now we talk about happiness at the higher level, or spiritual happiness, or mature levels of happiness, which Buddha called Niramisa Sukha. In that level, one important happiness it can be called happiness of loving kindness, happiness of metta, or happiness that we can get when we develop unbound loving kindness. When we have openness in our heart to treat all living beings with love, with unconditional love. So that is called happiness of loving kindness. And if we have a kind of practice that in every morning before you start your day, you sit down in front of the Buddha statue and you do short Buddha Vandana, and then develop your loving kindness. You make a wish for the whole world, a wish of goodwill, well-being to the whole world. You can make a wish that may today be a good day for me, may today be a good day for my family, and may today be a good day for all people living all around the world. People who are going to start their day today, may everybody find happiness, find safety, may they, all of them be well. You can make that wish every morning. And even you can extend that wish to all beings. That may all beings be well, safe, and happy in today. And if you can do such a practice every day, and you will develop this loving kindness, and you will see you will develop kind of enduring sense of happiness in your mind. The worldly happinesses are a momentary happiness. They will come and go. But the spiritual level of happiness, or Niramisa Sukha, are the kinds of happiness that will never leave us. And they are enduring. They will stay long in our mind. So as human beings, we are capable of unconditionally loving, unconditionally accepting, or unconditionally wishing everybody to be well, safe, and happy. So if we can do that wish every day, at least once in the morning before we start our day, you will begin to feel your life has a sense of meaning, sense of satisfaction, sense of settling in your life. And those are higher levels of happiness. And every other things also start to work for your own benefits when you have this kind of practices. And then other aspect of this world, spiritual happiness, is also called happiness of virtuousness. We call Anuvajja Sukha, happiness of virtuousness. That when we have certain moral principles in our life, like for example, if you have 5 precepts, if you observe 5 precepts in your life, or if you have any other moral principles that you follow in your life, and that becomes also a source of happiness, according to the Buddha. Imagine that you have a principle in your life that you are following, maybe from your childhood, maybe from a particular time of your life, that you have never killed any living being, for example, or you have never stolen other people's stuff in your life, or in this particular period of time. And when you have that moral principles, when you think about it, in my life, I have never done this particular unwholesome thing in my life, or from this time onwards. And that understanding, that reflection gives us so much happiness. And Buddha called them Anuvajja Sukha. Those happiness will stay in our mind, will give us so much strength and courage to go forward in our life. And these are the 2 aspects: the happiness of metta, or loving kindness, and happiness of virtuous life. And there are also deeper levels of happiness which we are capable of achieving. For that kind of happiness, we need to practice certain levels of meditation. Buddha called them, one happiness is called Upasama Sukha, which means the deeper levels of happiness that we experience when we settle our mind. Usually, whenever we experience worldly happiness, we experience kind of elation, kind of stimulation, kind of activation of our mind. But the Buddha told us that those the deeper level of happiness is experienced when you do not have any fluctuations, any types of afflictions in our mind. So if we can sit for a while and settle your mind, either focusing on your breath or focusing on the Buddha, and let your mind to settle, and you will have different kinds of happiness. What Buddha called Rupa Samsukha. It is like when we see a serene water which is not moved in a forest pond, that kind of happiness. When we can bring our mind to a deep serene level, and then that gives us a deeper level of happiness which cannot be even compared to worldly level of happiness. But the Buddha talked about that, and we can even go beyond that level. And one day, if we can pay attention to our own mind and understand our unwholesome tendencies, when you develop meditation, particularly mindfulness, we can watch our own mind, we can watch our own thoughts when they arise in our mind, and we can understand different tendencies, particularly unwholesome tendencies in our mind. And when you realize those unwholesome tendencies, you can penetrate into those unwholesome tendencies, and gradually we can develop deeper levels of meditation and eradicate those unwholesome tendencies, and that is the path to enlightenment. And the most highest level of happiness is called Nibbana Sukha, the happiness of Nirvana, the happiness of enlightenment, in which we have uprooted all tendencies, dispositions for unwholesomeness, and our mind is completely free from all defilements, and there's no way that our mind will be shaken with anything happening in the world. And that is the highest form of happiness. That is the idea that we all are going forward, looking forward. And so, but we need to understand these different levels of happiness. So now we understood basically two types of happiness. One is called Amisa Sukha, happiness of worldly affairs, and the second one is called Niramisa Sukha, the happiness beyond the world, or we call it the spiritual happiness. And when you understand these two levels, and it's okay to go for worldly happiness, but remember not to ignore spiritual happiness. These are the most enduring and trustworthy happiness, because worldly happiness can be changed and they will not last long. But one important thing as Buddhists we should practice that we should never sacrifice our spiritual happiness for worldly happiness. For example, let's say you can earn a lot of money but in order to earn that money, you had to cheat others. You had to transgress your precepts. You had to deprive your human virtues. In that case, Buddha will never recommend such happiness, such action, because that will eventually lead to deeper suffering to yourself and also for many others. So remember that there are two levels of happiness. It's okay to pursue both levels of happiness, but never sacrifice the spiritual level of happiness, happiness of virtuousness, happiness of loving kindness, happiness of settled mind, or happiness of freed mind, and never sacrifice those happiness just to achieve worldly happiness. So when you have this balance, I think we all can live a very happy life, and not only happy life for ourselves, but also happiness for many others. And in this understanding the value of spiritual life, you will understand that whenever we can do something not for us but for others, we achieve more happiness. We usually think that when we try to satisfy ourselves or satisfy our own senses, we think that we are happier. But actually, in reality, we become happier when we try to help others, when we try to make somebody else happy, when we can see has smiles in other faces that you made on their face, you can have a large smile in your face. So for that, we need to understand our own self-centeredness and try to go beyond that self-centeredness. That is the example set by Bodhisattva Ambedkar, and he sacrificed his own comfort, his own happiness for the happiness and well-being of many, many, many people. So physically he may be suffering because of his hard work, his continuous struggle, but mentally he should be in deep happiness, seeing the release, happiness and comfort of other people that he has created. That is the kind of example we should all learn, and we should all follow. Let us try to follow the example of that will achieve worldly success as well as achieve spiritual happiness, and try to devote our life not only for our own benefits but for the benefits of others too. When you make others happy, we become happier than anyone else. And thank you. I wish you all the blessings of the Buddha, blessings of the Dharma, and blessings of the Sangha. And may all achieve the worldly progress and worldly happiness as well as the spiritual happiness. We may all ultimately attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you, Bhanteji. Thank you for explaining the different types of happiness. If you allow, Bhanteji, if we can ask a few questions regarding that Dhamma talk. If you allow 5 more minutes. So, please, friends, please go ahead if you have any questions regarding this topic. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Bhanteji, for this wonderful talk. My question is, are in the last maybe 50 years, do you know any?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you know any one in Sri Lanka or Buddhist countries where people got enlightened, the highest level of happiness, who have achieved the highest level of happiness, or there good places where people are in practicing meditation or other serious practitioner, where people have achieved this higher states of happiness, may not be enlightenment. Thank you.
Yeah, I think if I hear you correctly, you asked that whether I know any people or monks in Sri Lanka or in other countries who have achieved the highest level of happiness or higher levels of happiness, right? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Yes. Not only Sri Lanka and also in other Buddhist countries too. And we know about senior meditation masters who had actually achieved higher levels of happiness. Most of them are not really popular or well known because they do not usually come to media or come outside and claim that they have achieved these higher levels. But they are humble and they share their understanding, insights, and realization to others. And of course, like countries like Thailand, Burma, and if you want, I can give you a few names actually. There are definitely very well-respected meditation teachers, meditation masters who are definitely enlightened, at least achieve one level of enlightenment. You know that we have 4 levels in achieving full enlightenment. But as Buddhist practitioners, what we should pay attention is actually this is a gradual transformation. And the ultimate transformation will be the highest levels of enlightenment. But in order to go there, we need to gradually transform our mind right here. If you give an example, like if we say that full enlightenment is 100% happiness, unshakability, and 100 level of freedom. And then, in order to achieve that 100 level, 100% of happiness, 100% of freedom, 100% of unshakableness, and we should achieve it from 1%. And as Buddhist practitioners, we should pay attention to achieve 5% of that happiness, that freedom, and then increase into 6% and 10%, and then eventually we will, go there to the highest level. But our attention should be on the process and gradually transforming ourselves. Yeah, but we need teachers for definitely. There are many teachers, not only in Buddhist countries nowadays. Actually, they are also living in other places too, and people are understanding the importance of training of the mind, because ultimately the happiness comes through the training of the mind. And now there are a lot of other researches also done in various other countries to understand the process of the mind, and Buddhism has taught us well before those techniques. So I think we have teachers. If you are really interested, we can actually go and visit them and be inspired by them.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions related to the topic?
Bhante Pramratna, this is Vijay. I'm calling from Kentucky.
Okay.
And I have a quick question.
Okay.
The question is, sometime like we try to do good for others. Just an example. If I try to do good for others by thinking this action will make others happy, but it depends on others also, how do they take. So how to learn those actions so that we can make sure others will be happy, or others should understand, yes, maybe this action is good and we should accept.
Yes.
So that's a tough task. I'm a businessman, so just this question came because I have faced few times. So because we cannot read others how they are going to take it. So just if you can suggest something, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, a question, a real practical question, and when we try to help others, how they will take that help and whether the help will be really helpful. So it's really important question, and we really have to have wisdom and have to have a skillfulness in that, because sometimes our help, although we wanted to help, our help will not be helpful to the other party, and sometimes they will not take them as help. But what is important is not to pay attention too much on their response. Of course, some people will benefit from our help, and some people, although they benefit from our help, will not recognize or will not acknowledge that help. But that's okay. So really, whenever we do help to others, we really have to question our own mind of why I am doing this. Am I really doing this to benefit others, or I'm doing this for other motives? You can ask from your own mind. If you are sure that your genuine need is to give some help, give some comfort to others, and then we can go ahead and do it, and not paying attention too much of how they respond to others. We have to pay attention how they will receive it, whether this is going to be really helpful, but we shouldn't pay attention how they will respond to it, how they will appreciate it. I mean, that we cannot control, and we should not be bothered by it, and we should continue to do good or help others irrespective of how they appreciate it, how they acknowledge it. But it's definitely important to question whether my help is going to be really helpful. And it's really a good question actually when we really actually want to help other people. We come to that difficulty, and we really have to question our own mind and question the kind of help that we are doing, whether giving something will really help them, or whether giving certain piece of advice will help them. We have to think twice. and I myself, also have experienced similar situation, and so I'm really mindful and really and always reflective of my own mind, and also kinds of things that I give away, kinds of help that I'm doing, and always question whether this is really helpful. But I do not pay too much attention to their response. And some people will acknowledge it, some people will appreciate it, some people will not. But that's okay, as long as on our party we have done good, and that should be enough for our own spiritual practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mantaji.
Thank you, Bhanteji. Again, Bhanteji, thank you very much for coming in today to the online Buddha Vihara.
Yes.
And thank you, Shashikant, for introducing Bhante from the Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara. Shashikant, do you want to say anything?
Thanks, Bhanteji, for being here and for your sharing on the level of the happiness. And thanks very much for your time. And looking forward you to come here again next year. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Shashikant. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you, Mahesh, for coordinating this. And Shashikant is a very good devotee of our temple, and is really helping us a lot, and he's also practicing, and I really happy and really proud of Shashikant, and thank you for inviting me for this Buddha Vihara, and I will plan to join with you in future too.
Just to let you know that we have multiple people from the different countries. We have people from India, we have people from Canada, we have people from Japan, and also sometimes the people from
all over the world, right?
All over the world, you can say. So everybody is joining here. We have around 25 people capacity, but we are going to expand the capacity right now.
Okay.
And we are doing these sessions from last 2 years, so it is running. And we have monks from Georgia Buddha Vihara, Bhante Vajira Bodhi. He is regularly serving to this Vihara session. But again, Bhanteji, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
We have another scheduled talk on this call. We have Vidyabhushan Rawat from Delhi. So, Bhanteji, if you want to stay, continue to the other talk, it is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And whenever I want, I can leave, right?
Okay, not a problem, Bhanteji. Thank you. And I would like to introduce another scheduled speaker on the call today, Vidyabhushan Rawat. He is currently joined from the Delhi, and today he is going to talk about the relevance of cultural changes in India, why Buddhism is essential to bring broader social political changes in India. In the absence of a cultural revolution, Indian political changes would just cosmetic and mean very little to the toiling masses. Vidyabhushan Rawat is a human rights activist, he is a filmmaker, and he is also a writer. He worked at the grassroots, particularly in the areas like Kushinagar, Gazipur, it is 100 kilometers from Sarnath, and Fatehpur. He is a real Ambedkar, right? Ambedkarism is an ideology of liberalism for him, which he learned a lot from people like Bhagwan Dasji, and he is also a good friend of Anil Gaikwadji, and also he is a good friend of Mangesh Daivole, and he is also regularly visiting to the Trailokya Buddha Mahasangha, Naglok centers in all over the place. Again, welcome Vidyabhushan Rawatji on the online Buddha Vihara call, and please go ahead.
Welcome to all, and Jai Bhim and Namo Buddhaya to all my friends. I am thankful to you for inviting me to this talk, and the topic that I am going to speak is on the cultural renaissance in India, the cultural changes. And I feel unless those cultural changes made, it's very difficult, because so far we have seen the progress also the political in India are like we have just now concluded an election, and that India is very big at the moment. We are witnessing a radical revivalism here, which is transcending all the political parties. I want to start with Baba Ambedkar's mission, and as we know that Dr. Ambedkar in life has different he fought against the for example entry in 30s when he declared that I died I was born as a Hindu, I won't die as a Hindu. Later he was into the political decision-making bodies, drafted the Constitution of India, and was a member of the cabinet of Jawaharlal Nehru. Lots of laws and came. But the most important part of Baba Ambedkar's life, I feel, comes in the post-40s and the mission of reviving Buddhism in India. And I consider him the greatest icon who revived Buddhism in India. Buddhism, as defined by Baba Ambedkar, is nothing but humanism. It is actually, if you see in terms of Western democratic ideals, it is the ideology of liberation. Why I am calling it? Because it contains reasoning, it contains karuna, love and affection, and it contains welfare of the people. So we have tark, we have karuna. Both if we mix them together, they make humanism. I was recently in United Kingdom, just a week back, and I'm very happy to see our Buddhist friends have progressed very high. They're building up the community there in London, in Birmingham, and other places. Yeah, Buddha Viharas. They fought for the equity bill also. In fact, I'm writing on that issue that how the Ambedkarite Buddhists actually led the movement for a historical legislation that was passed in the British Parliament last year on the equity issue, which has been installed, not last year, this year, and it has been installed, or if the British government and the of the Western Hindutva force has dragged its feet and has taken time that they will implement it in next 3-4 years. My point is that I met there other groups also. We have the Ravidasi community, we have the Valmiki community, there are television channels of the community, there are radio channels. So the thing that pained me actually was the difference. And in certain places I was asked, don't speak about Buddhism too much, because people get offended. People say, oh, our identity is this. We are seeing in India also a lot of movement in the name of Mudlima, movement in the name of who want to cling to that identity of old. And somewhere I am feeling that these movements are contradicting the basic premise of Buddha, who wanted people to dealing completely from the discriminatory the Varna had and lead a new life. Because whenever I traveled a large part of a number of places like Cambodia, Mongolia, Thailand, and other Buddhist countries, and I found that our Buddhist attitude, an attitude of compassion, an attitude of happiness, which we don't find in our country. A society like ours is frustrated. If we see the violence in India, if we see discrimination in India, it is a society which is arrogant, which is contemptuous towards people, towards its own people. And this society is sick. And when Dr. Ambedkar, he knew it very what he called to Prabuddha Bharat, an enlightened India. And that is where I'm seeking all my friends, attention. When we see we needed an enlightened India, that means we are seeking a positive role for the people. We have to develop this positive attitude, and that means to link ourselves with the community. Those who have developed themselves, those who have come up, they also need to share a little bit with the community, with those who have not come up. The gap between our friends in Europe and America and India is that in India, except for friends in Maharashtra or a little bit of in Agra, most of our friends are dependent on the government. While in Europe and America, communities have come up at their own. It is because the environment, it is because the whole social structure, where if you get an opportunity, you excel. And when you get an opportunity and you excel, then you can also share your success with others. That is why we find so many places people are now starting their own work, they are starting community mobilization, they are doing lots of work for the community in terms of supporting the people who are not able to come up, in terms of providing them scholarship, in terms of providing alternative employment skills in the villages, in schools and education. These are the sectors we need to focus. I think the positive program that Baba Sahib did in post-40s was, and he was alone in his struggle, where he realized the importance of education, the importance of communication, the importance of journalism. In his all work we see, he was multitasking at that time. He was not only fighting for the people's rights, but also writing, also negotiating with the government. So the movement doesn't stop. The movement has different phases. It is the phase when you fight at the street. There is a phase when you negotiate with the government, and there is a phase when you are in power. We have come to the power also, but what after that? And that is very, very important. Why, even when the parties come to power, they do not heed, they do not listen to the people's voices. Why? It is important, and that's why the message of Baba Sahib in post-40s, when he embraced Buddhism, when he revived Buddhism, a cultural change. We need a cultural renaissance in India, a cultural revolution that only the principle of Navayana, what Baba Sahib said, can provide to us. Because if we see political changes in India, these political changes are cosmetic. Because even when the parties in the name of Dalits come to power, they actually succumb to the caste in newspaper and really to work for the people. The community, as we are seeing in different movements, where they cling to caste, reviving the old caste identity. So how are we going to revive Buddhism if we cling to those caste identities and try to search those identities where you call a Mahitasu, a Ravana, or a Taraka, or anybody from all these pieces religious scripture as our icon. Rather than going into those fictitious debates, if we start a positive debate and engage with the community and their current issues, engage with their struggle, and provide them the alternative that Baba Sahib has already given, I think the people will not be confused. It is ironical actually, it's very tragic that a thing that has been settled by Dr. Ambedkar and his work, when he gave us this whole idea of Buddhism, that people are again trying to go to those caste practices and finding their icons in those fictitious religious scriptures. I think if we have to delink ourselves from those discriminatory practices and discriminatory paths, then we have to search a new way, and that new way is the Narayana that Dr. Ambedkar provided us. And if we have that identity, we will not suffer from the crisis of identity. Today it is the crisis of identity that makes people cry all the day and then submerge themselves in those identities again. I think a socio-political analysis of the Buddhists in India can reveal that those people who embrace Buddhism have achieved higher level of success than those who have not been able to do that. And this is example that has been set up by our friends in Maharashtra, set up by our friends in Agra. The rest of the country, they may be following, but we need a lot of work on that. And I think once this cultural change comes in India, once we start treating people equal in attitude and mindset, only then the vision of Dr. Ambedkar could be achieved. And we must realize that that vision is the Prabuddha Bharat, the vision of enlightened India, which is possible only in the ideals of Buddha. It is unfortunate that Buddha, where he worked, the land where he worked, people there lost him or maybe forget him. And wherever he went, whether it is Southeast Asia, Europe, anywhere, people are finding enlightenment. India needs Buddha and India needs this new renaissance, the new cultural revolution. And I hope the toiling masses of India are crying. They are in need of that cultural revolution. And that cultural revolution is possible when we, the Ambedkarites, go to the people and join the struggle of the people. Once we join the struggle of the people and share their agonies and pain and share their concern, I think they will come to know who Buddha was and what he did, who Baba Sahib was and what he did. It's very important because right now we are talking among the converts. It is important to bring new people into the movement, the new communities into the movement, and build up the bigger community. I think that is possible when we go to them, when we start working with them. It's not possible for everyone, but at least share whatever way you can through your expertise, through your support, through your linkages. It's important to build up a huge community. There is a huge community waiting in India, and already people are coming to this reality that knowing about the work of Baba Sahib, knowing about Buddhism, but a lot needs to be done because the reactionary forces are also there. There are powerful reactionary forces in India who do not want this to happen, who want to co-opt Buddha also, who want to co-opt Ambedkar also, and that is the most dangerous part. It is time that all the friends they understand this and develop a common understanding and linkage to work towards a stronger Ambedkarite community which can revive Buddhism in India. Revive Buddhism through people's working, through sharing, through joining people's movement. It cannot be done in isolation. People came and joined or embraced Buddhism because of Ambedkar, because they knew that the path that he had chosen is to liberate them, because they believed in Dr. Ambedkar. And it is that belief, that faith that we have to achieve. That can only be possible if they are there in their concern, in their struggle, because the majority of the people are struggling for their daily life, struggling daily, whether it is the economic struggle or whether it is the social cultural struggle that they fight in their villages, in their schools, in their colleges, in their panchayat. And I feel it is there where we need to create a set of people, set of activists who can raise their voice with all those people who are able to do that and take the work of Dr. Ambedkar along with them. If we don't do that, there are other people who are ready to take and ready to actually thwart this great awakening that has happened in India. What gives me great pride when I go to Nagpur on the Vijayadashmi day and see the people, see the huge mass of people coming and celebrating. That gives the kind of happiness and satisfaction, that kind of image we need to see all over the country. Only then we will realize Dr. Ambedkar's dream of an enlightened India or Prabuddha Bharat. I think I've said enough, and if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving a very good talk. I will request the group. Lalit, go ahead. Any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, the video is very slow.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, there is a. Yeah, go ahead, Lalit. Yeah, sorry, it was muted. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vidyabhushanji, for this wonderful talk. I have a query, like during this 6th December and April 14th, there is huge gathering in Maharashtra. How is the gathering of people? Are people visiting this Dalit stall near Noida? How do people organize? How do they observe these days in UP?
I give you one example actually, because 2 years back when I was in Nagpur and this question came to me, and I said I feel that people in Maharashtra have much more empowered than in UP. Despite that there is a government in UP, that time Mayawati ji was Minister of Pradesh, and my feeling, I stand with that point that the Buddhists in Maharashtra are much more successful, achieved much more, and culturally because they have changed. In Uttar Pradesh, what has happened? People come, they celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti in Obviously not like what happened in Bhumi or in Nagpur. Definitely not of that extent. But what worries me more actually, people have this dual identity. They are Hindus also, they are Buddhists also. And in marriages also they do both the ways. Sometimes trying to say we are Buddhist just for the sake of it. My concern is that the cultural changes should come. Cultural changes in attitude. Unless that comes, it's just a cosmetic change from the above. So as far as your point that this place in Noida and Lucknow, they are wonderful places that have been developed, but yet still people are coming, but not much, because one is the government is not very very supportive at this moment. Also, people find time, and it's not it has yet not become very popular. Those who know goes there. Large number of people know, but still, if we see like if it become like a event in Nagpur or Bhumi, that will be the achievement. I would say that, but right now not that good.
Any other question there?
Thank you.
रावत जी, मैं विजय बोल रहा हूँ. दिस इज विजय फ्रॉम Kentucky, USA.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, so I was having discussion with Vivek Kumar ji, JNU professor, and mentioned Kashiram ji once announced or thought, and he was kind of confident. Maybe in 5 to 10 years, he can make the biggest religion of the world, Buddhism. That's what was having confidence within years. So do you have understanding like what thought he was having or something? Any idea? Just what kind of mindset and what thoughts he was having, Kashiram ji?
Sorry, on this issue I won't be able to give much, because my feeling was that they might have intention to embrace Buddhism, but they did not publicly. Both even today, Mayawati ji has not embraced Buddhism. She has supported all these things, like all the places, Buddha Vihara. She has developed this, no doubt about that. But publicly, she has not embraced. And Kashiram ji also, maybe I don't know what kind of pressure they might go through, or there are a lot of what the community think, other things there is, because I think that would have been one of the greatest things if that in his lifetime, if Kashiram ji has announced ever that I would embrace Buddhism along with Mayawati ji, and as Baba Sahib did, that would have jolted actually the structure. But I don't know whether that was that they could not do, or whether they have planned. I can't say. I have not come across any such writing. But maybe Vivek Kumar ji was closer in that circle, so maybe he knew. But I have no such information about that. But definitely, if they had actually embraced it, it would have jolted the Indian establishment. That I can guarantee. Because when Udit Raj ji did it, he did not have that much of a big support, and Mayawati ji and Kashiram were big names. So if they do it, it would be a great. Jagdish ji.
Jayveer sir, yeah, I have a simple question, right? Just 2 years ago, I visited the prayer Nastal when it was on the verge of opening that place pilgrimage So just I wanted to know that is it still open to the public or still it is under the government custody?
This part,
The Prerna
they are open to public.
it is open to public, right? Okay.
They are open to public. Lucknow and both places they are open to public. Actually, there were people who tried to settle in Noida, but ultimately the Supreme Court overruled them and the path is free.
Oh, okay. 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 Thank you very much.
I've joined the question, and I go across the writings on Facebook, and it's very encouraging. Yes, you're doing a great job. You are like at the root level. You're working.
Able to hear.
अमोल जी थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए. अमोल जी, can you please come to the mic? We can't hear you.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, Mr. Bhushanji, I was saying that we appreciate your work, and it's really a great job you're doing. Since you're a root level activist and you travel across throughout the country, throughout the world, what is that you have now? A leader is someone who actually knows the ground reality, but he makes sure that the mob or that the mass he is leading doesn't get disheartened or doesn't get demotivated, and he keeps the spirit burning. I'm very sure that since you are like working on the root level, you know what the ground reality is. How much are the people working, or how much are they into this Dalit activism, or how much are they enlightened, aware of Ambedkarite movement? What do you think? Now, whatever writings you post on Facebook, yes, definitely, those are encouraging. That you have to keep the spirit burning, and that's every leader does that. Everyone who is who wants to bring that awakening in the society has to do that. But I would like to ask you, what is that you personally feel? What is your reaction when you have been across to the country and seeing people? What sort of things are we lacking? Is really Dalit activism in a deplorable state?
It's not stage, I would say. Yes, there are lots of interest. Hello. Yeah. Dalit activism has been very good. At least I would say Ambedkarite activism. I will make a little bit of difference now. So Ambedkarite activism, because I've known for years, people have toiled hard to bring out templates, newsletters, and going to the people. And now there is a sort of activism developed in recent years. It's post-90s phenomena, where we have NGOs coming up, civil society developing. So we have Dalit NGOs, run by Dalit, by non-Dalit. There's a lot of all these things happening. Now we have power in UP, and it's lost also. At the ground level, people know about Baba Saheb Ambedkar things. They know about the political rights also. The basic thing is happening actually. There are a lot of now when we have too much of focusing on caste, so there are different caste groups now emerging. So when I said the cultural renaissance, I wanted people to come out of that and become a Buddhist, and then it become a bigger identity. What is happening today, and if you analyze, because sometimes there are compulsion when we don't fight those things, but I say there are micro level differences actually have become bigger. So you see that is the biggest challenge. Now even these kind of things, see the Mool Nivasi, and if you see the activism of Mool Nivasi in UP, who is it against? It's definitely against Mayawati and BSP. Now, I don't say that they are the sole guardian, but what I say is, if we have an agenda, who should be our first fight against? And it is I feel, in the absence of all this understanding, many times when I meet many of the friends and they say, oh, the OBCs should have Dr. Ambedkar, they should have their own leader, and they should need a leader like Ambedkar. And I'm just trained to tell people that Ambedkar is for everyone. If you really have, if you have read him, if you have understood his struggle, and this thing I am actually writing a whole work on Ambedkar and how he has become an icon internationally, not just of a particular community. What people have done actually for their petty purposes, put Ambedkar, also trying to categorize, and that's very dangerous. That is actually defeating. This smaller caste identities are defeating the movement, because politically they will sit together and they say, okay, we are Ambedkarite. But at the end of the day, when you are like a bigger scale, when you come to the scale things, then they ally with someone else. If this party is going this side, I'll go that side. And at the end of the day, it's like a very terrible situation, and it's happening everywhere. So overall picture is that Dalit activism is there, but it is also being victim of the political manipulation from outside, also from inside also. And it is because everybody is thinking that if I keep my caste identity intact, that means I keep my leadership intact. So leadership and issue is a bigger issue. Everybody wants to be leader, and then the only thing that he had is tagging a caste identity. And when caste identity is not there, the leadership is gone. Only those who will work with the people will have the leadership. So it is a biggest challenge. But whenever I'm going to the ground, going to the people, we have all communities with us, different communities, and we are creating kind of this identity, what I call the human identity. And we say Baba Sahib Ambedkar was humanist, Buddha was a humanist. So please embrace this, and unless you reject all those kind of earlier identities and notion and all those kind of what I call superstition and practices, because my focus is also on attitudes and practices. If we are we say we are Ambedkarite, definitely an Ambedkarite, and I remember NG UK Saab was a great friend of mine, and he would always say an Ambedkarite has to be better than their best. That was his always this kind of thing. He was very clear about his very perception. Even Bhagwan Das, they were scholarly people and never suffered from any crisis, I would say. And we need that kind of people. We need people who don't suffer due to this identity crisis. When you are a Buddhist, you are a Buddhist. You don't have this but what is happening is that there are a lot of groups emerging, lot of political groups emerging. They are actually confusing people. Some are saying Hamara Dravid identity. Some are telling them about different gods, that this black god is this white god is there, and we say that the god itself is a very fictitious concept. Why do you want a god of this kind? When Dr. Ambedkar so many years back has given you an identity, has given you, directed you a path, why don't you go to that path? And that is where we are trying actually, that all these 22 vows and all these kind of what Baba Sahib decided and described, we try to bring actually in our action those things, and educating youngster. And my focus is on youngster. I feel that the more we train youngster about the leadership qualities, about writing, about filmmaking, about even action, human rights, I think we'll have a by and large I feel that people are learning, they are coming, but the political action and the cultural changes are disappointing a little bit. Otherwise, people are joining the jobs also, earning money also, but this cultural change is very essential. that. Because unless this is there, the political end will be not that far-reaching and to the community.
Yeah. Thanks. I salute you for your work.
But that was the point I want to mention that we need to, the Ambedkarites need to work positive, like what I call Christian missionaries did the work. What they did, how they spread Christianity world over through schools, vocational training colleges and hospitals. Maybe we have to do a little bit of charities also to spread our ideas and dream of Dr. Ambedkar, because what he did in the post-40s was also starting colleges and sending people abroad, magazines and papers. This was a work. That was a positive plan that he had for the community. And if we see, once we have a positive plan and once we have very clear alternatives that you are this, then you are not bothered about what is the other old perception and what I was. I think if we read Baba Sahib Ambedkar's post-40s writing, this is sharply different than what he wrote in 1930 when he was debating with Gandhi on caste system, on untouchability issues and everything. But once he decided very clearly and started, reviving Buddhism, he has known that thing because he has got his way out. So it is there I am telling people actually that once you have this, that this is my way, I want to be this way, then you don't need to be bothered about what was the old way and why. But what is happening is that we are abusing and putting our energy in that. Anti-Brahmanism is not the answer, because the answer is what is our way. And that's why I feel that Buddha became a world phenomena, because he did not waste his energy in just abusing the Brahmins, but propagating what he meant. And what is it? That's where we are failing from there. What is our perception? What is our ideology? What kind of an India we want? What kind of a society we want? And that is where Buddha and his perception are very, very important if we want to really work on this.
Thank you very much. Sunil ji, do you want to start?
Yeah. Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Vidya, it was wonderful talk, and thanks for coming and addressing the online Buddha Vihara. And definitely, I'm looking for much more talk from you in future.
Surely, because it was just an unprepared thing, and I didn't know what kind of a whole gathering was, and so I'm very happy actually, very, very happy.
So definitely, we look forward to listen to you again. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Again, this is here is Mahesh. Vidya Bhushan ji, you sent two people from one from Maharashtra and one from I think UP area. They are doing very good job. May I know who are those people? I mean, just to make sure we have the same understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, I work in Kushinagar. We have a center called Prerna Kendra. It's about 25 kilometers from Kushinagar. And we are working with this community called Mushahar, one of the most marginalized communities, which were kind of a criminal tribe during the British period. And they were rat trappers, rat eaters. But now, after a lot of work, and they are still marginalized in the whole struggle. You don't have even a kind of hello.
Yes.
I didn't want to speak.
No, we can hear you. There was some echo from Anil Gaikwad side, so we can hear you. Go ahead.
So we have done a lot of work there. Then we are also working with Valmiki communities in Ghazipur, which is about 100 kilometers from Sarnath. So my aim was actually, that Buddhist friends who have come visit here, visit these places also, and revive their linkages with the community also, because it would be great if people who visit religious places also visit the communities and make their linkages, talk to people, learn about them, learn the changes. And I invite you people, when you visit Kushinagar or you want to visit, please let us know, and definitely you have a place. It's a very modest place. It's about 25 kilometers from Kushinagar town, whatever, small. But I'm sure if you want some peace and serenity, you would like that place.
Yeah. Last year, around 15 professors from America went to India, and Vidyabhushan ji and his organization arranged very big program there, and they told a lot of good stories and very important work done by Vidyabhushan ji. Thank you.
Yeah, it was actually, Lalit, your work, and they were very, very happy there, and the community was very happy. And I spoke to Kevin this year, and he said that he would definitely visit this year. So it's great to hear that they want to come back again.
Any other question? Now, we had a very great discussion today, and you passed a very good information. Again, as Ambedkar Association North America, I would like to thank you for coming in today, and we definitely need you on the timely manner on this online Buddha Vihara. And also, if you know any other of your friends would like to donate some time and trying to offer some guidance to us, we are
I will
delighted.
definitely put you in touch with the friends I met. Very good Buddhist friend in England and in India also.
Okay.
Because I stayed in Buddha Vihara in Birmingham and in London. So Gautam ji and other friends. So there are very good friends, and if you network together, I think the future is ours. We are going to do many things together.
Okay, so we'll try to definitely invite them also, and also try to invite the people who are from India too. Again, thank you very much for joining in today. We had a very good talk from Bhanteji from Pittsburgh. He gave a very good talk on the happiness. Ravaji, you also give very good talk. So thank you very much for coming in today again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jadim, and no good luck to everyone.
Yeah. So again, thank you guys for joining today. Let's meet again next week, same time, 10 o'clock. If nobody wants to introduce or anybody has any other question, please go ahead quickly. Any question or any information wants to share?
Hello, Rawat ji. Hello, Mr. Rawat.
Anil ji, boliye.
Yeah, can you elaborate about your long march which is going to have towards the end of this month?
Yeah. See, we have started a campaign called Humanize India, and it's deliberately that name because we wanted a positive name. And we are starting a Padayatra from 20th of December to it will culminate 29th, and it is in Fatehpur district, where the issue is untouchability and caste discrimination and manual scavenging. And we have been working, and the season have provided some alternatives to the community. Number of girls are learning computers, and a number of girls are also those who left the manual scavenging are also learning very Jardozi work, stitching work. 400 women left the manual scanning work in nearly 15-20 villages in the last 3-4 years. A lot of effort, and we try to building up that we think that we must push more. And my understanding is that mere laws will not work unless the community also has to reject it from its own side. So what we are doing is trying to build up the community from internally and telling them that this is a work that they need to lead, and they need to come to the humanist perception, the embed side. So that is my I will mail you the message what we are when and what is the program schedule. So you are invited. Anyone who can join us is welcome.
Jagdishji, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks Majid to giving an opportunity. Yesterday there was a gathering from Houston as well as the Austin area. They gathered yesterday at Raju Saab's place to pay the tribute and the honor to Dr. Ambedkar on his 58th Parivartana Din. Similar way also, right, in Dallas we have organized a similar gathering next week on Saturday evening at my place. So if the people who are around here, they can join this function. It will be a kind of a evening program where we are going to see some Dr. Ambedkar movie, including the one which Dr. Gundal he released that movie, which is about 27 minutes movie. Also, there will be kind of a few open pages on Dr. Ambedkar's life, and again, our in generation kids, they are going to highlight some of the events that have happened in Dr. Ambedkar's life. So this is how we are going to pay tribute to Dr. Ambedkar next week in Dallas. So just I wanted to let everybody know that this is the activity that has been lined up in Dallas, Texas.
Thank you, Jagdishji. Good information. If all then would like to join, so please contact Jagdish Bankarji. Any other information like to share? Lalit, anything else from your side? As Lalit mentioned, he was at the Chaitya and Lalit, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Can you please share brief information? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was there at Chaitya and there was a stall on like millions of people came from, I think, all over Maharashtra and other states as well. And I think every year people come and the numbers are increasing. Most of things are good, but some observations like some of things are not well organized. Like one near our stall, there was one medical emergency. One guy had migraine feet, and there was no medical facility. And I think they don't have any like emergency contact stall there. Like even I think information stall is not there. Then in terms of noise, people can like it can be much more well organized, I think, in terms of organizing distributing food and how the places where the stalls which sells the CDs, I think they can be at one place, and some other important stalls where people have some important work, I think that can be little noise free. There was one stall where I think people from different organizations, like there was AIM, and also Anna, there was some posters there about educational guidance, and some other organizations also joined. They put a big stall, and there was different specialization wise teams who were ready to guide students around 2,500 students came there, and they did a one-to-one counseling to the students from on 5th and 6th, and it was quite wonderful. And hopefully we are having this follow-up meeting on 22nd, and with the help of Anna and AIM, we will try to do online video counselings for education abroad, and because there is a lot ways depth of information about how people can go outside. But these talks were quite impressive. One guy came from Punjab with this Canada immigration counseling, and people with different specialization were there. So it was one guy was chartered accountant. He was giving information about, and all this was in one stall. That was quite amazing. So I think this all career guidance and kind of stall, they make sure they're planning to increase this space because there's a lot of students coming and there is huge demand. So maybe we can facilitate this work because people look after organization from abroad and they get motivated. And I had prepared one pamphlet, one-page flyer about the demand of higher education and how many people go outside India for higher education each year. If you see the statistics, around 1 lakh students are studying in America. Those are from India, and we hardly have our representation. At least 16,000 to 21,000 students from SCST would have been there. I can share here. I can share the pamphlet, the flyer which I prepared, which I will again email that flyer, but you can immediately see. And also in terms of education, like around 20 lakh students can go to America in terms of statistics. So I prepared this flyer in terms of motivation, why we should start this movement of encouraging students to go abroad, because Dr. Ambedkar went to America 100 years before, and this year it marks 100th anniversary. And I briefly prepared how they can prepare, what are the exams for different streams and application process and funding pattern, and then guidance people are ready to guide, and also in advocacy in terms of how on similar pattern like UPSC, MPSC exam coaching classes, we should have GRE TOEFL classes. Each state government can at least have 500 to 1,000 scholarships. Most of like these China and Arab countries, they have fellowships. That's how majority of students go to USA. Even Indian students who go to USA goes with taking government bank loan. That is like indirect support from the government to this 1 lakh students. However, there is hardly any support to SCST students. So I prepared an appeal, detailed appeal for state and central government. I will send it out to our forum. So in terms of Anna and AIM, we can actually start guiding students how we can they can go abroad. So we have around 15-16 students here, expert actually, who can guide. So we'll be meeting and training them how periodically they can volunteer their time. So thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you, Sir Lalit, for sharing the information. Thank you very much for your time visiting Tettebumi also. Sandeep, any question?
I just this is Sandeep. Lalit, thanks again for sharing that information. Really valuable, and it's more helpful because you, as a kind of, I'll consider as a representative who visited the stall. So I think there is much more to learn and to kind of like grow, as you said. So I think it will be good in coming weeks, if you can have a quick session in terms of what were your experiences, share in detail, and also kind of like how we can support as a team over here. So see if you want to give a thought on that.
Definitely, because what in the beginning of session today, like reflecting on Mahaparinirbhan Day, how we can best give to others, and I think that is one of the major expertise of people who are abroad. And look, just my being there, people were like quite motivated, and they wanted to go, and because most of students were coming for higher education, medicine, engineering, and other stuff, but then we were slowly telling them about higher education. They were quite impressed, and next session I'll definitely share more experiences and how people, community abroad from across the world can really impact this population, and how we can use this technology to reach out to the masses. Thank you so much.
We are having these counseling sessions in India, right? So I think this information, even if we have a pamphlet or an outline as how it can be helpful reaching out organizations like NIAM, ANA, I think that will be great. So I think after your session, or if you want to kind of present the kind of like a poster you said about opportunities, how students can reach out. I think we can place that at various events that are taking place.
Yeah, Jagdish, go ahead. Thank you, Sandeep.
Yeah, I think earlier someone gave us stats on our about the students, right, who are coming to are going to abroad, and he particularly mentioned about the USA. But do you have any other stat, right? How our students are going to the different countries? If that would be available, we can leverage to that, right? How our diversity, how our representation is there in other country, and what is the mindset of our students to visit the different countries? If that kind of stats is available, I would appreciate if someone can share
that. Right now, we don't have specific data on that front, but certainly, if practically, if we see that if there would have been large number of students, like say 20,000 actual representation among like 1 lakh, we would not have like 25-30 people on this forum. We would have like at least among, if for say last 1 decade, if 20,000 students are coming, then it would have been 2 lakh people. And this forum, we might have like thousands of organizations, not 2-3 organizations in US. Certainly, I don't see, even in my university or other universities, I don't see, wherever I visit, I hardly see people from our community. So based on our experiences and what, when there is no data, I think there is hardly any representation. And even you can see the universities in USA, the faculties and the South Asian research departments where Indians, majority of them are Indians. I have not seen a single Dalits there. So I don't see any representation, because most of students come to America or other countries with fellowship or some loans, but the population is every year maybe whom we know, maybe 5 or 10 people, and people whom we don't know, they may, I don't know that number, but and that we need to market more using radios and other technology if you want to outreach them, but if that is our purpose. But I certainly see the need of like targeting people in India, also appealing government that this is the need and there is no representation. Government of China has Ministry of Foreign Education. They provide educational support. These Arabian countries, Saudi Arabia, they provide 100% fellowships to whosoever want to go. Even Indian government supports to high class students indirectly through the banks, but we don't get the loans because they ask for mortgage, and so we need to push for at least government loans and fellowships to our students. And if we spend some resource and energy in advocating that, I think that will create much more impact. Thank you.
Yeah, what you said is correct, right? But here also in the United States there are people, right? As you said, hardly we see the people, but it is our observation that the people, they don't show the identity, and that is why we don't see the representation. But I think the reason I ask for that, right, if we know at least some representation that it is there in United States, in the different university, okay, these are the students are there, even though those people, they are not showing their identity, but at least we ourselves can make an effort and identify them and pursue them. Also, this is one of my observations that the people who are coming over here, even though our people, even their parents, they were very active, but the kids, they do not know anything about Dr. Ambedkar. They do not know the activities that are being done in India by their parents and answer, because the parents, they never involve them. So for them here, when we try to reach out to them, it is kind of a unknown entity for them to ask for or to join for or to discuss about that. So that is leading us not to see any representation in United States, even though it exists. So if that kind of statistic at least we have available from the Indian government, or whatever the statistics that we have, as you mentioned, and that was the reason of asking that question. If you don't have it,
Jagdish, we will discuss this one again a little bit more broader range later on. Lalit is going to join. Maybe we'll have a separate session to discuss, but again we have out of time little bit today. I think there was some Raoji already left, and Anil Gaikwad also wants to leave because very night time there. Again, sorry for the limited time. Again, we need to be stick on the time. Jagdish, we'll talk offline again, more detail. Lalit is in India also, so we'll need to discuss oftenly with him and try to make the database and see how we can impact more university people. Again, thank you very much for joining today. We'll meet next week. We are also looking for more monks to join to this call. So please let me know, or let Sandeep Kulke or Vivek Chauhan or Sasikant Chand know that if anyone wants to join, we'll welcome them on this call. Again, thank you very much, guys. Good night. Enjoy your day. Thank you for joining online to the Vihara. Who is on the call user 2? May I know? Oh, you talk. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much.